Welcome to the stream. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me today. Anybody that's coming in at this time, thanks so much. Take time out of your day. Anybody watching this on the replay, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know how it works. Diving into it. I just wanted to do a generalized discussion about like the Lakers stuff like that. Talk about just the injury concerns, things like that. Russ, AD, all of that noise. You guys know how it goes. But real quick, say hi to some early people. Odds 80 makes it to the playoffs healthy. That's tough. Say about 70% he does. I do. I think they're gonna monitor him. I think they're gonna kind of keep his minutes light. I think they're gonna, I think he's gonna get days off. And I think he really knows he needs to prove something. I really do. I think he feels like I need to like step up here. Like I need to like show. I mean, that's kind of what he's kind of continued to talk about. So my guess would be that he's ready to go. What's up? I know we have no official word, but do you know have any idea how long Dennis will be out for? I would like to see him start because I think him, LeBron, and AD are good moments that one season. Yeah, I mean they were plus 15 and a half last time they played together. Yeah, I mean probably a couple weeks if I had to guess. Worst case, I don't think it's anything like major. Um, because if it was, I think they would be really worried. But they are concerned he's going to miss some time. So if I had to guess, probably like 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. Um, he's a little better fit than Westbrook with LeBron. I mean, yeah, I mean they've worked in the past. I mean they weren't like so good, can't believe it good. They weren't can't believe it's not butter good, but they were good. Like I said, they were plus 15 that year. They were like top five, I think, something like that. Top five and like three man duos as far as like point differential and stuff goes. So yeah, they were pretty good. 3-7 or 4-6 in our first 10 games. I think it goes one of. I think it goes. I think there's two ways that this goes. I don't think we're going to be middle of the pack. I think we're either like 7-3 or like 6-4, or we're like 3-7. Like I think that's kind of how it's going to be. I think we're gonna start Tuesday. We're gonna walk away with a win, and our first 5 games are tough. Like because our first 5 games are what? It's the Warriors, the Clippers, the Blazers, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. So I think those first 5 games are really going to establish a lot. I think I really think we're going to beat the Warriors opening night. So let's assume that we do, right? Clippers, I think, are 50-50. I feel like the Lakers really want to beat them, and they know that they kind of have to beat them. So I think that they really try to show up for that game. And then I think Blazers should be a win. I think that should be an easy W for the Lakers. And then I think we win at least one of the two Timberwolves Nuggets games. So I think worst case we end up like 3-2. Um, yeah, depending on I think it depends on what happens in that Clippers game. I think we're somewhere in the yeah. I think our first 5 games we're somewhere in the 3-2 range would be my guess. Or like I said, it's going to be the opposite, and the only game we're going to win is that Blazers game, and we're going to be 1-4. And if that happens, I think it's going to be closer to 3-7. But I think if we have like a good like 3-2 or 4-1 start, I think that continues throughout the season, and I think we're going to be pretty good. Do you really? I'm assuming that means think Darvin is going to make a difference with Russ this year. I feel like Russ is forced to the bench. He will react like he did with Vogel. No, I really do think he's going to make a big difference this year. I mean, he already has. The things that Russ has been willing to do already, like Vogel could never get him to do that stuff. Just like playing within the scope of things, setting screens, fighting over picks, running closeouts, all of those things. Like he's shown a willingness. Now, Does that mean that he's going to be good? And is he going to continue that throughout the season? I don't know. That's something that we'll find out as we approach this season. But I do think Darvin Ham's already made a difference with Russ this year, and he's been very open and talkative with Russ. The problem was I think Vogel didn't really, which he's not a good communicator. Period. Like he's never been a good communicator. So I think the problem is that like he just didn't know how to communicate and handle Russ. Where Darvin Ham, he's very open, honest with Russ. Like even the report, like when an interview where Darvin Ham was like, yeah, me and Russ, we sat down, we had a talk, and I told him like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? Like he didn't just say, hey, I'm benching you, you're coming off as the sixth man, whether you like it or not. No, he was like, hey, this is what I want to try. Are you open to trying it? Can we try to work something out here? And I think that's a respect. I think also, Russell Westbrook knows he has to kind of conform. He has to kind of be better, so to speak, this season than he has. And I think he knows that like if I don't do what they need me to do, like I could be out of the league. So I do think part of that is also just him trying to show like, oh, I could change, which I do think he's done a really good job. I really do. I'm excited for Tuesday. I feel like we will shock a lot of people that night. It won't look nothing like the previous preseason game. I think so too. I really do. And I could be completely wrong, but I really think the Lakers are going to beat the Warriors on Tuesday. I think LeBron and Davis and all of them know we need to establish a win. We need to get this win, and then really kind of change the narrative around. Because if they beat the Warriors opening night, you're gonna see a narrative change. Right now, it's kind of like, oh, this team sucks, doesn't work. Look at how they looked the last two preseason games. All of this stuff. I think that narrative, if they beat the Warriors, and especially if they beat the Clippers, they beat the Warriors and Clippers. I think you see a completely different dynamic shift. I think a lot of the people that are hating and talking shit right now, I think a lot of those people just kind of, come back and sneak through the back door again and are like, yay, Lakers are good. Like, I just think that that's probably how it's going to go. And I think LeBron and Anthony Davis know, like, I got to get this done. Like, I got to make this happen. Also, just historically, usually teams on rain night lose throughout all sports, not just basketball, but through all sports. So yeah, I do. I like the Lakers odds. I think it's going to be pretty good. Hey, as it stands, what is going on? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope Russ changes and embraces whatever role. I really want it to work. I really want it to work too. And look, I have stuck up for Russ a lot. And I like what I have seen from him. He's trying. Now, will it work? Who knows? I don't know. And that's always been my thing. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't time travel. But the fact that he's trying is at least a step in a positive direction. And that's my whole point. Like Russ 2 years ago, never would have done that. He would have said, don't you know who I am? I'm Russell Westbrook. I'm the MVP. I'm the this and that. And he never would have even thought of trying to change, his play style, coming off the bench, stuff like that. It just wouldn't have done. But he has. We've seen him fighting over screens. We've seen him, go into closeouts and stuff. His willingness to come off the bench if he needs him to. He even said, when during the beginning of the offseason, he was like, hey, whatever they need me to do, that's what I'll do. All that stuff. I like what I have seen. Now, can he continue to do that? And will he continue to buy in? I don't know, but I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm willing to see where it goes. I do. I really want it to work too. Like nothing would make me happier than if Russell Westbrook figured it out with the Lakers. The Lakers are really good this year and they win a championship. And Russ gives that ultimate FU to everybody. Like that would just be a beautiful story, right? Like that was the story we wanted last year. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. But again, I don't know. I really don't know. Exactly out of the league. Yeah, he will be. If he doesn't get it together and show like I can be better, I do think he will be. What's your starting lineup for LA on Tuesday night? My guess, so I want to do, I'll probably do a live stream tomorrow night, kind of just breaking down my thoughts leading into the game. I just kind of wanted to have like an overall conversation, but primarily I want to see who's available because we should know tomorrow, or Tuesday morning. But I think we'll have a better idea tomorrow. But currently, as it stands, um, my guess would be with Russ. I think Russ starts. I think it go. I think it's Russ, Walker, LeBron, Davis, and Bryant is what I think the starting five will be. Without Russ, I think it'll be Nunn, Walker, LeBron, Davis, and Bryant. Because I think they're going to go big with against the Warriors. Because why not? Like you have that mismatch in this matchup. Why wouldn't you capitalize it? I think the same thing happens in the Clippers game. But it also depends on if Darvin Ham wants to play AD at the five. Because if he was ever going to play AD at the five, this is probably the team to do it against. And he's always had monstrous games and stuff against the Warriors. So I do think that's something that could happen. And if that's the case, I think it's very likely Nunn. I think it's Nunn, Beverly, Walker, LeBron, and Davis would probably be my guess, somewhere around there. Do you think we will finally get an opening night win? It's long overdue. I really do. I really think the Lakers are going to beat the Warriors. Now, I could be completely wrong. It's just a guess. I wouldn't bet on it, or anything like that. But I do. I think I really think LeBron and AD know we got to get a win. We got to start the season right. It's like I was mentioning earlier. I think if they win opening night, you're going to have a real shift in dynamic. I think you're going to have a really different type of conversation. And you're going to see a lot of people kind of like, oh, like you're going to, like I said, you're going to have a lot of people sneaking through the back door like, oh, yeah, hey, I this and that. Like, I always knew that they would be good type thing. And then especially if they beat the Clippers. They start the season 2-0. I think so much conversation and narrative is just going to completely change, especially if Russ is good in those two games. I think the conversation really changes. And I think LeBron especially, I think he knows that. I think Darvin Ham knows that. I think Russ knows that. So I really think these guys are like, we need to go into Golden State and we need to get that W. So I do think they win. I really do. It's about time we start 1-0 instead of 0-1 for the past few. Yeah, I agree. We need that win. Ham overrated? Absolutely not. How can he be overrated when you haven't even coached the game yet? It can't be over. I don't think he can be underrated either. I don't think he can be rated, period, because we haven't seen him actually coach an actual NBA game. Preseason is all about trying things, experimenting, testing. Does this lineup work? Does this group of players work? This and that. You're better trying and testing stuff in preseason than you are in the regular season. That's the whole point of the preseason. So I don't think he can be either or overrated or underrated. I want Patrick Beverly to start because of defense and to guard Steph and or Clay. Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on, does Russ play and does do they go 80 at the 5 or not? I think is going to be a big thing. But yeah, that's just kind of my opinion on that. I got Patrick Beverly, Reeves, Braun, 80, Bryant. If Russ is coming off the bench, Nunn and Lonnie give us pretty much 2 Malik Months to score and shoot around it. I can understand that. I wouldn't be against that at all. I think Lonnie starts because I think Darvin Ham loves every opportunity he has to like bring up Lonnie Walker, he does. So I really think he's going to start Lonnie Walker. Part of me thinks that he, like, if without Russ, part of me thinks he goes Reeves, Walker, LeBron, and AD, and Bryant. Sorry, blanked on that. I think that and kind of go big, and then you still have like Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, Russell Westbrook, guys like that. I think it just depends on, is he going to start Russ or or bring him off the bench? And does he want AD to play at the 5 or not? That's what I think. That's what I think it'll boil down to. Thank you so much, Paul. Paul coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Really appreciate you. Fireham, bad coach. He hasn't even played a game yet, Paul. You got to give the guy a break. Got to let him actually see if he could play or not. I just look. I don't like Tom was asking earlier. Is he overrated or underrated? I don't think he's either. I don't think he can be. I don't think he can be. He hasn't played a game yet. You got to let these guys play. You got to let them, make adjustments. Like preseason is all about trying new things. Like, does this lineup work? Does that lineup work? What about this rotation? Is this rotation good? Is this rotation bad? Is this something that maybe we could work on and maybe it could work? It's all about trial and error in preseason. You want your coach to do that in preseason and not in the regular season. You don't want them testing stuff in the regular season. And if it doesn't work, now you're down 30 in a regular season game. It's okay if you get blown out in a preseason game because it doesn't matter. It doesn't add to your win or loss total. But regular season game, it does. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to be the case. But again, Paul, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for $2 super chat. Where were we? We were here. Do you see Walker rising to fill the shoes of Malik Monk? Just straight buckets. I do. I really like what I've seen from Walker. I think Lonnie Walker really could make a huge impact. He's looked nice. Like he's looked like a guy that makes sense as to why they decided to give him the taxpayer mid-level, and I appreciate that. I think he's a guy. I mean, you got to keep in mind, he was arguably the second or third option on the Spurs, and he's going from like the second or third option on the Spurs to like the fifth or sixth option on the Lakers. That's usually good value. Like when a guy goes from being, second or third on a team to like, fifth or sixth, that's really good value. So I think that he's really gonna play well. I really think he's gonna step up. Oh, I didn't know you went live. What's up, bro? No worries. I just started. I'm 17 minutes in, so I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in. Ain't no way we start 2-0. I wouldn't say ain't no way. Look, I really think we beat the Warriors. If we beat the Warriors, then next up is the Clippers. I really think LeBron. You got to remember, we still have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they're never going to be healthier than they are the first two games. So if we can't win the first two games with those two, we're probably in trouble. Now, I don't necessarily think they will. I actually think they'll probably lose to the Clippers because the Clippers just seem to have their number every year, no matter what. But I do think they beat the Warriors. And if they beat the Warriors, then there you go. Like all you got to do is win one more game. Like, and now you're 2-0. Again, I'm not saying they will, but I wouldn't say ain't no way. I don't think you could say that either. Tyler, just waiting to say I told you. So just look at his Halloween Ends videos. Yeah, right. I can't wait. I hope I'm 100% right. Just so I can be like, see, haha. Must win game. Yeah, I think so too. I really do. Because I think if the Lakers beat the Warriors, you're going to see a real shift. I think you're going to see a shift in the locker room. I think a lot of these young guys are going to get excited. They're going to get pumped like we just beat the defending champions. Here we are. We made our statement, especially if we win in a commanding fashion. I'm not saying we're going to beat them by 30. And I'm not even saying that necessarily has to happen to be a commanding. But like if we're basically start to finish pretty much in the game and have like substantial leads here and there, and we never get really too far behind, I really think that that's going to have a huge resounding effect on the Lakers. And I think just the conversation in general, I think you're going to see a lot of shift in conversation when it comes to the Lakers. Like, share, and subscribe. That is right. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that stuff. I really appreciate all of you. And thank you so much, Emily, for making that known, because it really does help, especially the like button. We're at 49:32. Can we get to, in the next like 10 minutes, can we get to 49:40? That's only 8 subscribers. I'm sure out of 67 people, there are 8 of you that are not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Help me out. We're almost to 5,000. That would be amazing. That means I got to like 5,000 in under 3 months, I believe, something like that. pretty close to that, which would be amazing. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, tell a dog, tell a cousin, whatever. But yeah, first 3 games must win games. I think so too. Look, Blazers should be a win. That's a game that we should win. I think we beat the Warriors, so that's at least 2. I think the Clippers game is the only game that I'm like a little wonky on. Halloween Ends, what a shit show. Oh my God, don't get me started. That movie is just absolute dog doo-doo. That movie is terrible. Terrible movie. Do you think if this was Miami or second stint Cleveland, LeBron would have the Lakers as championship contenders or maybe even favorites? Look, I think, and I really believe, I think if we had the same team we have right now and LeBron James and Anthony Davis both came to the Lakers this offseason, I think everyone would be saying the Lakers are a legit contender, and I think that they'd be favorites to win the whole thing. But because we've already gotten over this like whole, LeBron and AD sort of hangover, I think the conversation shift a lot, and just injuries and just like what happened last season, stuff like that. But yeah, I think now if this was like now in the sense of like if this was like Cleveland LeBron, like that LeBron James, I think he was good enough to take this team we have right now and win a championship with. Absolutely. Now, can he? I do think, though, and this is just me personally, but I do think if we get to the Western Conference Finals, I think one, we get to the NBA Finals, and I wouldn't be shocked if we win the finals. If we get to the Western Conference Finals, which I'm not saying we will, I don't necessarily think we will, but if for whatever reason even if we're like the Mavs of last year, where like nobody thought we were going to the West, and we end up in the Western Finals, I think LeBron James looks at this as like, this might be the last chance I get here. And I think we see a sort of reinvigorated LeBron James. I really do. I think we could see like, old school LeBron show up just because he's like, I need to win 8 games. If I can win 8 games, I get another championship and I might never be able to get back here. Like I need to be that LeBron James. I really do. Yo, man, did you see people saying that Russ faked an injury because he was mad he did it? Sorry, I did, and I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just so silly. I really do. Like, why would he fake that injury? Like, what would he gain from it? Like, what would be the point? It doesn't make sense to me. I was worried about that. Yeah, no, he definitely didn't fake an injury. We lost to the Kings by 30 and 47 in the preseason. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That you don't like if we lost that in the regular season, then we might have a problem. Is there a chance that Russ be traded in 5 games regular season? Praying for it. I mean, there's always a chance. So like the Lakers, based on reports, the Lakers are supposed to be starting to ramp up trade talks again once we get into the actual season. Would I bank on them doing that? No. I think the Lakers, one, give Russ a decent sample size. I think at least 20 games. Personally, I don't necessarily think if the Lakers trade him at all, I don't think it's till closer to the trade deadline. Just because I just don't think that there's any deals that are necessarily like worth it with it. Excuse me, a little kick in the throat. And I think the Lakers come the trade deadline are going to have so many more options because you have so many teams that are going to be trying to purposely tank for Victor. And not only the Lakers, but I think all like the contending teams are going to have real opportunity to get like fleece level deals from other teams. Because you're going to have a lot of these teams that are going to just want to just tank as fast as possible, be as terrible as quickly as possible. And you're going to see a lot of these teams and even some of these like mid-tier teams that just decide to blow it up. I think teams like the Lakers and anybody else that's buying is going to be able to get pennies on the dollar deals. I think they're going to be able to get like 50, 70% discounts on some guys because you're going to have like teams like like the Spurs and maybe the Magic and teams like that are just having fire sales. Because they're going to be because they're going to be like, yeah, we're like a game out of like the best odds from Victor. Let's just blow this up and go get Victor. Like that's what I think a lot of, or even if we don't get Victor, maybe we get Scoop. I think that's what it is. This draft is going to impact this year crazy. When the hell was the last time we won an opening regular season game? I'm too pumped for Tuesday. I am too. I think somebody said earlier that it was like 5 straight years, which I think is correct. I think we're right about that. I think it's been like five seasons since we won an opening season game. Vogel was making weird lineups in May. Exactly. I would rather Darvin Ham test the waters and try different things in the preseason than like the problem with Vogel's lineups is we never had a lineup stable enough and long enough to see if it could work. We were the second or third team in the league last year for most lineups, like different starting fives. We ran like every game was a different lineup. Like, how are you supposed to build any cohesiveness, any like chemistry when it's like constantly every game it's somebody else, stuff like that. I'll kick your ass. Appreciate you, the main suspect. Trade Skirtbury ASAP. Trade Westbrook. I'm sure that they'll be trying at some point, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm worried about our shooting. I am too, but I don't think we're going to be as bad as we were the other day. But granted, I don't think we're going to be as good as like 2 or 3 games ago where we shot like 45% from 3 as a team. I think we're going to be around probably like 34%, 35%, which that's what we were in the bubble. Just saying. Has there been an update on if Russ will play opening night after the injury? So there hasn't been. He's day-to-day right now. And Darvin Ham said that they're going to monitor him and see if he's ready to go. Russ wants to play, but they don't want to force the issue. So they're going to see how he looks probably the next day or two, and then they'll give us an answer. What's up, Tyler, in the chat? What's going on, Jojo? Appreciate you being here. I am already subscribed. I appreciate you nonetheless. And that's what it's all about. Thank you. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Can I get 5 more subs in the next 5 minutes? I'm almost at 4940. That would be amazing. And keep subscribing, because if I could get to 5,000, I'm almost to 5,000 subscribers in 3 months. That is unbelievable. So subscribe to the channel. It means a ton. Like the video, all that stuff. You're all so awesome. It feels like Byron Scott era. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I mean, like I said, we got to play a couple games first and see what happens. I'm very concerned about this team, 1-5 in preseason, and not impressed from what I've seen. Look, I'm impressed with the first half. The last 2 games were rough. Low energy. Just nobody seemed like they really wanted to be there. And I'm hoping that that's just kind of a team that just, they just want to get to the regular season like we're done. I mean, LeBron himself has said he does not care about preseason and doesn't it means nothing to him. So LeBron's always kind of been that guy. But I do. There's definitely things that are concerning about this team. But how much of it is just preseason? How much of it is real, genuine concerns? We'll find out. We're going to find out here very, very shortly. What's going on out there? What's going on? Appreciate you. Salute, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Would you pull the trigger on the Indy trade if Russ continues and gets worse? The antics and attitudes. I still wouldn't do it for 2 first-round picks. You're better off just, having them just play 10 minutes a game or whatever, if that's the case. I don't want the Lakers to get panic and desperate to the point where they just, all right, let's just do a deal. You know what I mean? Because it's just the problem is that if that doesn't work, you're stuck. So many people think of what Buddy Hield and Miles Turner could be. And look, if it works and it's perfect, great. But the probability of it being a disaster is far more likely. Miles Turner is very injury prone. He's coming off a season-ending injury, which some people I know are well, he could have came back. Yeah, he could have. But the point is, he got injured and he missed the season. Whether he could have came back early or not is irrelevant. He got injured, missed the season. That's a problem. He wants $20+ million for a player that's not a $20+ million player. Problem is, we have to pay him. Have to. And if he doesn't work out, we're screwed. We're screwed because we're not going to be able to move him because we're overpaying him. Also, people forget, Miles Turner played with another big before in Sabonis, and it didn't work at all. And the Pacers ended up trading Sabonis. So who's to say Miles Turner and Anthony Davis work? On paper, it sounds like a great idea, and it looks like a great idea. But that doesn't mean it will be. And, and they're both, and then both your center and your power forward are extremely injury prone. That's a problem. And Miles Turner doesn't solve your biggest issue, which is 3-point shooting and wing defense. We got plenty of bigs, we got plenty of size down low, but we don't have wing defenders. We don't have great shooting. Miles Turner, yes, he could shoot the 3 ball, but he's not that good to where he's going to just change the fate of your 3-point shooting. And then Buddy Hield, problem with Buddy Hield is Buddy Hield, one, if he's not lights out, he's completely useless because he doesn't play defense. He has one of the worst defensive ratings in the league. So he's a terrible liability on defense, and he's not going to save the day. Unless Buddy Hield is playing 48 minutes a game and, shooting, 53s a game at like a 40% clip, one shooter is not going to save the day. We need several. And so the problem is that that deal, no matter what, if it works, great. If it works, you're the hero, save the day. Boom. But if it doesn't work, we're screwed. We're stuck. It's Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng all over again because we have no salary space. We have no assets. We have nothing to move off these guys. We're stuck with that team for the next, 3+ years. And there's nothing you could do about it. So, you got to remember, the grass isn't always greener. It's really not. It's not always greener. In LA, after a win, we start parading. After a loss, drama. This is unstable team generates that mood swings. That's what I said. I've said the same thing. You can't get too high on the highs, can't get too low on the lows. We got to just see where this goes. But that's the problem. And I even said it in a live stream the other day where I was like, what's hilarious, the sky was falling. Everybody was talking about how the Lakers are trash, this, that, and the other. And 2 nights earlier, when the Lakers won, the live stream was a completely different vibe. Everyone was like, oh, maybe this is going to work. Russ looks great. Everything's great. Blah, blah, blah. It's just amazing how quickly you could flip. It's I for 3 straight games, everyone was talking about how, how it could work. And they look really good. And the starters, they look good. This, that, and the other. And you have one bad game and everyone's losing their minds. And I don't know. I don't get it. But that's just me. Why would Russ give it his all and make it work if his own front office is trying to get rid of him? Because he doesn't have a choice. If he doesn't, he could be out of the league, literally. You got to remember, he's playing for a contract. So he needs to help himself. He's a guy right now that is looked at and perceived as selfish, only plays one type of way, not a winner, this, that, and the other. He's a guy that has a lot of baggage, and he needs to prove that he can change. And unless he does that, then it's going to be a big trouble. So, championship or bust for this team, and we all know they're not championship material. You never know. You give us a healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and they're playing at a good level, and we got a top defense, anything can happen. Nobody thought Dallas was going to be in the Western Conference Finals last year. Losing to the Kings by 47 is still bad for preseason. It is. But half our team wasn't there, for one. And 2, we just looked rough. What else? Go Yankees. Oops, wrong sport. Hey, it's all right. No worries. I'm not a Yankee fan. I had a huge – so because I have another channel for those that don't know. I have As It Stands, which is my mother channel. It's the channel that was the cause for this channel. I went on a whole Dodger rant because the Dodgers lost. I was all upset about that. But go subscribe to As It Stands. I'd appreciate that too. And subscribe here. Come on. I need 4 subscribers to get to 4940. That'd be awesome. But keep subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 5,000 subscribers. I'm right there. That'd be amazing if I could hit 5,000. All you beautiful people would be very thankful. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. 20 games for us. That's too much for the stubborn player not to fit for LA. Problem is, you got to give it some sample size. You got to see how it works. Some games he starts, some games he comes off the bench one way or another. Glad we get the champs on opening night. Gives us a chance to see where we really are. Agreed. It'll be a good sample size. It'll tell us a lot. It'll tell us how much we need to work on, what's working, what's not, things like that. I'm really excited for that. Pretty sure we had 42 different starting lineups. Yeah, no, we did. It was crazy. That's about a damn new starting lineup every second game. Yeah, it was insane. I believe, like I said, I think who was it that year? I think it was the Knicks. I think it was the Knicks and the. I know there was. I It might have just been the Knicks that were in front. There was one or two teams that were ahead of us by like one game or something like that. We had like the literally like no cohesive. Like there was nothing. Like it was just the same thing every time. Or wasn't the same thing every time. Sorry. The scariest part was Pelinka justifying 50 cards on the roster. I mean, there wasn't much else out there. There wasn't a bunch of wings out there. We missed 15 threes in a row the other night. I know, yeah. At one point, we were like 8% from three. Like I said, I don't think we're that bad, but I don't think we're that good. Like, so here's the thing. Like, like a lot of people talk and mention like, oh, the Lakers missed 15 threes in a row and the Lakers, are good. See, I told you they're going to be a terrible 3-point shooting team, but the Lakers were like 45% the like 2 nights before that and looked like an elite 3-point shooting team, and everyone has to act differently. Like, I don't think they're that good, but I don't think they're this bad. I don't think they're this bad. I think they're somewhere in the middle. I think they're going to be around 34, maybe 35% as a team. They're not going to be winning games on their 3-point shooting. They'll be winning games on their defense, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis is what they're going to be winning games on. And then hopefully Russ can kind of fit in and stuff like that. I'm worried about AD. I don't think he's shape right now will help us. He seems kind of slow. I don't know. Like I posted a practice video. He looks like he's moving pretty fluid. And look, he looked great in the games that he played. He was driving to the hoop and everything. He looked really good. I can't sub any further. I'm already subbed over. Great reference. I love that. I'll never, ever forget that. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate you. Thank you. Follow Tina Suit. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. All of that stuff. You guys know how it works. Seriously, thank you. I really appreciate that. And yes, way to set an example. I appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to see us get blown out by the Warriors. All of this is Lee GM's fault, and he needs to play with the beating the Warriors will dish out. Here's my problem, JoJo. And look, I appreciate you. You're awesome. But I don't understand how we as Laker fans are excited and hoping for the downfall of the Lakers. Like, I don't know. Like, do I think we're going to be great? Not necessarily, but who knows? I can never sit there and say, like, I love the Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers, but I hope that they get blown out. I can't wait to see them go. Like, why would you pray for the demise and the downfall of your favorite team? It's like having a friend, that's starting a business or something, and you're like, I can't wait till you fail at business. I can't wait to see you, your business fall apart and you lose all your money. Like, I don't know. I can't get behind that. I can't. And it's not just you, JoJo. Like 90% of the people like that leave comments and are in chats and stuff. Like, it's crazy how many people are just like this. Like, I'm not saying we have to be delusional to the point where it's like, the house is on fire and it's like, oh, that's it. Like, no, it's going to be okay. The wind's going to put it out. Like, I'm not saying that, but like, we haven't even played a game yet. So like, let's wait and see. Like, that's my point. Like, if the Lakers are terrible 10 games in, I will be the first one to come on here and be like, we are terrible. It sucks. I wish they'd be better. I just can't root for their downfall. I just can't like get behind like, yeah, Lakers are trash. Like, I just don't get that. Like, especially if you're a fan. Now, if you're just like, if you're a fan of another team and you're just, talking, or, you're a fan of, whatever, and you're just trolling like that, I get, like, and I can get behind, like, I can understand that, but I don't understand how like fans, like, I see so many people that are like, I'm a diehard Laker fan, but the Lakers are trash and they're going to lose 80 games this year. And I'm like, how do you know that? And like, why are you praying for their downfall? Why are you hoping and you can't wait to see the Lakers suck? Like, I don't know. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my hand around that. I just, if I like something, I like it. Like, I don't want to see it do bad, like I wouldn't want to see a friend or something I care about fall apart. Is Dennis and Lonnie a healthy scratch for opening night? So Lonnie is supposed to play. According to Darvin Ham, he played in practice today and looked absolutely great. So, Lonnie and AD are supposed to start. Dennis is supposed to be a scratch. What do you want to see Tuesday opening day? Whether we win or lose, I want to see a foundation. I want to see a clear direction, a clear identity. I don't mind if we lose. It's just, how did we lose? And like, what did the game as a package look like? Like, did were we tight the entire game, maybe even winning, and Steph hit a game winner, and it was like, man, we were in a close game. That was a game we could have won. Steph is Steph. We lost. Like, that's something you can hang your hat on. If it's a game where we get blown out by 30 and it's just we look like a disaster, we look like a team that's dysfunctional, I'm a little concerned. Again, I'm not going to, even if that does happen, I'm not going to blow it out of proportion because it's one game. Like I said, let's give it a sample size. But I do. I just I want to see a clear identity, clear positive takeaways that we can kind of hang our hat on and just kind of use to push going forward. That's kind of my thing. AD is kind of fat, man. Can't guard. AD lost weight. And he can. He's been great. AD's slimmer than he was the last 2 years. I think some teams want to be in the number one overall pick, so they may be willing to part for only one first round pick. Exactly. I agree. I really think that that's going to happen. I think as this season progresses, we're going to see a lot of like trade talks and rumors, not only with the Lakers, but multiple teams. I really think teams are going to let themselves get fleeced to be as terrible as possible. You're going to have so many teams trying to tank for the bottom. So, yeah, I'm with you. People were saying Russ faked an injury because he didn't want to come off the bench. He'd rather get paid not playing. Also, he didn't want to make it seem like he didn't want to come off the bench to fake. He faked it. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Like that. What does he gain? What does he gain from that? Because it's not like he can just stay. Like sooner or later, he's gonna have to come back, and it's not like they're gonna be like, okay, well, you keep getting injured on the bench, so we're just gonna make you a starter now. Like, it's stupid. And he can't risk it. And not just that, he's been totally game for everything so far. Like, why would he all of a sudden? And he's hung his hat as being like the most durable guy in the league. Like, so I don't see him saying, you know what, like, screw my legacy and like the only thing I really have to like fake an injury. It's just silly. The grass I have is always greener. To be frank, Sabonis is a much different player to AD. AD is a much more natural forward than Sabonis. DS is a 5, and that's pretty much where versatility, offense, defense. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I'm not arguing that at all. My concern is that he also struggled at times working off of bigs in Sabonis. And Sabonis is a much better passer than AD is. AD is not a bad passer, but Sabonis be dropping dimes. And Turner couldn't really work off of him. Like, he struggled to work off of him. And just that chemistry. And Miles Turner wants to be the 5. I do think you have a more natural, versatile offensive and defensive, established center, established power forward. They both like to play those positions preferably, but they still have to play off of each other. They still have to have that push and pull. There's a lot of things that go into it is my concern. I think it will work, but you can't just assume that everything's going to go right every time. And you got to think, like, what's the downside? Because everyone looks at like what the upside could be if we went and did a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal. But I never hear people mention the downside. It's always like, no, it's going to be perfect. It's going to go great. Like, I'm like, it could, but like, what if Miles Turner gets hurt? What if him and AD just don't get along or they just don't work well? Like they can't play off of each other, but I do agree with you, Snorlax, and I completely understand what you're saying. Do you still think we win 50 win team? I do. Absolutely, Leon. You got to understand. Here, I'll shorten this. Lakers won 33 games last year, right? Is this team now better than 33 games? Yes, right? I mean, even though over-under is more than that, if AD and LeBron played a majority of the season last season, then they would have won more than 33 games. So let's say this team is 10 games better, right? So that would put us at 43 wins. And then after the trade deadline, you're going to have a ton of teams purposely trying to lose, not to mention the teams that are going to purposely be trying to lose now. But you have about like 6 to 8 teams that are going to purposely try to lose at some point. Immediately, you're going to have about 6 teams, and like 3 or 4 of those teams are in the West, which means the Lakers play them 4 times, which means you have at least 16 free potential wins. at the very least, just in the West. And so obviously they're probably not going to win every one of those games. You win some games, you lose some games, things like that. But out of those 16 potential wins, can you win another 10? So there's 53 wins right there. I just think you're gonna have a race towards the bottom rather than the top this season. I feel like you have more inside info than Woj. I assure you, I do not. Look, I'm just some dude on the internet. I'm not some insider. I don't have information. I just see the information, I put it out there, and I give my take and educated guess and discussion. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but just some dude on the internet. I'm just some YouTuber. But I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. The new AIS bomb. Warriors are at full strength and payback for Tuesday. Yes, and that's why if the Lakers win that game, I think that's going to be a great sort of sign. A great sign. Are Lakers done with Luol Deng's contract? They just finished it this year. Just finished it. Indy likely wants to be the next unicorn and next number one overall pick, Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. So they may want to make sure. I actually think at some point Indy's is gonna like collapse, or not collapse, but give it. I really do. I think I could see, like, especially if Indiana, like, let's say Indiana starts 5-2 or something like that. I could see Indiana panicking and being like, no, we gotta lose here. We'll just give us them for a first, like whatever. I think that happens. What trade do you think is best for the Lakers? Problem is there aren't very many currently, and I think there will be some more. But right now, the ones that are the only one that we know for certain that they could do is the Pacer deal. But there's a lot of talks of the Hornets, which I think makes a lot of sense. And I actually like the Hornets deal better. Like, if you could get PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre, and even, I'm not really big on Gordon Hayward just because of his injury. I think Gordon Hayward would be a perfect player for this team. He just can't stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I would love Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, and PJ Washington. Give us those three, and let's go. I think we'd be great. But I just don't think Hayward can stay healthy. But regardless, I think you could probably do the Hornets trade and maybe not even give up any draft picks, because not only are you helping them tank for Victor Wembanyama, but you're also taking on a ton of salary, especially if you take on Hayward. You're basically clearing their books and giving them the best. You're taking all their good players and giving them an opportunity to tank for Victor. I think that would be huge. So that would, in my opinion, be the best trade that we currently know of. Now, I ain't seen any other team fan base overreact to wins and losses as much as they should. I agree. I haven't either, personally. Aside from the Clippers and Warriors, who's the biggest threat to the Lakers in the West? Grizzlies, Suns, Mavs, Pelicans, or Nuggets? Personally, the only other team that I kind of have concerns about other than that are the Nuggets. I think could be a bit of a problem. I think the Lakers are in the Pelicans, Grizzlies. I'm not really worried about the Grizzlies. I know a lot of people are, but I think a little bit they overachieved last season. I think that they're very young. They don't I don't know. I don't buy the Grizzlies as much as other people do. Mavs, I think, are interesting. I don't know how I feel about the Mavs. I could see the Mavs making the NBA Finals, or I could see them being a 7 seed. It's really weird. I don't know. I don't really know how to gauge it, because I think that they're very good, and Luka is Luka. And I think that they made some nice additions in Christian Wood and JaVale McGee and stuff like that. I think some really nice underrated type of deals. But I don't know if they're going to be that. I don't know if they're going to be that much better than they were last year. So I don't really worry about them. Pelicans, I think, could be really hit or miss. Suns, I think, are going to totally implode. And I could be completely wrong. I think they're going to fall apart this year. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs or anything, but I don't think they're going to be that good. I don't think they're going to be, a 65-win team again this year. I think that they're going to be closer to 50. 55, maybe, 50 to 55, somewhere around there. So I think that they're going to end up falling to the 5 seed, some of that maybe the 4 seed. So out of the teams that you listed, probably the Nuggets. Um, I answer that. All of them are threats for the Lakers. I mean, till we see this team, yeah, I guess. Till we see them play. Go Dodgers. Oh wait, I know, man. You're telling me, man. Dodgers were big disappointment this year. Seriously, they need a. I don't know. I don't understand the obsession the Dodgers have with Dave Roberts. Fire that guy. That guy is the worst manager I've ever seen in baseball. That guy is. That guy drives me crazy. Like, yeah. Man. I actually. I want to get my buddy to like start a Dodger channel under like the As It Stands banner, so I could just go on his channel whenever I want, and just like rant about the Dodgers. Because like I made a whole rant on As It Stands about the Dodgers, but I want to do it. I'd like to have somebody to like one-on-one talk with. Lakers need fair trade, but I see 2024 as target for free agents and run West champs. I mean, look, I think you're gonna have like essentially everybody potentially falling off the books then, so it is a real possibility. Nets lose their 2 preseason games, saying they suck. Then look at their last 2 games; they're looking different now. But you did say they was scary if they come together and play. Look, I think if they figure it out and they don't implode, my problem with the Nets is I think they're one bad day away from just being just a dumpster fire, and you're gonna have bad days. I hope not. Like I think that they are really good. In my opinion, them and the Clippers are the 2 best teams front to back on paper. Again, on paper. And I really think that they could be good. I really do. But look, when it comes to preseason, like go look at the records of all the teams. Like pretty much all the teams that were good in preseason that usually go undefeated or only lose 1 game in preseason are all the bad teams because they have so many guys that are actually playing because they want to make a roster. They're trying to make a roster spot. So they have stuff to lose. Like everybody on the Lakers, everybody's already locked in. Nobody cares. Like, nobody's trying to kill themselves out there. They already got a spot. Like look at like Milwaukee. They didn't win a game, I don't think, in preseason. If they did, they won 1. Like, is Milwaukee a dumpster fire? Is Milwaukee going to suck this year? No. It's because it's preseason. Like, teams don't care. And Milwaukee, everybody on their team is already on their spot. Like, there might be 1 spot that somebody's competing for, but other than that, the teams that are usually undefeated, like the Sacramento Kings went undefeated last year. It's just like that's just how it goes. Usually the bad teams are the teams that go undefeated. Important thing, perimeter defense stinks. Patrick Beverley will not solve this. We need another good perimeter defender. I don't know. We'll see. Because we got a couple guys with length. I do think we need a sizable wing defender, but we do got a couple guys with some pretty good length. So we'll see. We'll see how the team defense picks up. Stuff takes time for some teams. It's a process. Exactly, Leon. Exactly. Everything is a process. Everything you gotta, you even this year with the Lakers. Like the Lakers could start 5-0 and it's still a process. They could, after going 5-0, they could go 0-5 in the next 5 games and finish 5-5 in the first 10 games. This is gonna be a roller coaster ride. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have good stretches, you're gonna have bad stretches. It's the game of basketball. Problem is everybody overreacts either way in those stretches. So it's hard sometimes. Dodgers gave me 2020 Laker vibes. 2022 Laker vibes. Dude, that was man, that was rough. Let's go Angels. Lakers at best 5-7 playoff spot in the West. No champs with any trade on the table now. Yeah, I don't think they're champs with any trade on the table now. Yeah, I think I think they're 4-6 range, somewhere around there. Because look, you always have that team. You always have that team that nobody thinks is good that ends up being good. Maybe that's the Lakers. And you always have that team that everyone thinks is good that turns out to be bad. Like, it's just how it goes every year. Like, you get that team that, like the Cavs last year. Like, nobody saw the Cavs coming, and they were really good. If they can get 2 more shooters, they'll be fine. Yeah, I think so. Like, if they could get a solid, like, wing defender and, like, another shooter, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe. Thank you so much, Tobias. I really appreciate that. And go subscribe. I am 2 subscribers away from 4940. That would be awesome. And then I'm 62 away from 5,000. If I could get 5,000 subs, that'd be amazing. So subscribe to the channel, please. It really helps me out. It takes a second of your time. It's free. It's kind. Do your good deed of the day and subscribe. I got over 100 of you beautiful people in this stream, and I know that there are at least 20 of you that aren't subscribed. So subscribe to the channel. Dennis is a good guy, and Ham knows and wanted him. Yeah, I think so too. Well, and they also came out with a report where they thought they were going to have a trade done by that time, and they didn't. So I think it was a combination of things. But I'm a fan of whatever is winning me money. Facts. I say that all the time. I really do. I'm like, they're like, especially in football, because I don't have a favorite team. So like people are always like, "What's your favorite football team?" And I'm like, "Whatever team I have my money on." Like that's I believe that. Is it weird to have two favorite NBA teams? Nah, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I think everybody has like that other team that they like. Obviously, people always have one that they like more, but I think everyone's got a team that like they root for or whatever. When a team's not there. I like winning bets too, not throw away money, but don't get greedy. Yeah, believe me, I've had good stretches and bad stretches when it comes to sports betting and gambling. Period. I won't celebrate them, but I'll be honest about the team I'm looking at. They're just too small. One injury to a big man, and it's trouble. And that very well could be the case, Robert. I'm with you. I do think. Look, we need. I mean, you can say that about most teams. We need a healthy roster. We really do. I'm curious to see how Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant actually look in regular season. They've had good stretches, but they also have bad stretches. Like, can they be more consistent? Is something I think is really important. And then I don't know. We definitely need a little more wing size, in my opinion. I think we're good in the center and power forward position. But yeah, we could use a little more size. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Who is your other favorite? Oh, I think you're talking to him. I would really like to get DeMar if we can, if Bulls decide to blow it up and take for Wembanyama. Yeah, I mean, they're a team that I think we should really look out for. I don't necessarily think that they're going to go that route, but I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think Chicago is going to be very good. I think the East is actually pretty good. And I think Chicago is not up there as far as like the upper echelon of teams. But so I think Chicago, they get like, if they're like the 7 seed, or, I could see them just being like, hey, like this isn't happening, and just blow it up. And maybe we could get like a Zach LaVine or DeMar or something like that. Who knows? 80, not good. 5, high risk, injury prone. Yes. Got to protect them. I honestly think people overhype a lot of teams. I agree with you. I really don't think. I think the only teams that I worry about are the Warriors and the Clippers. The Warriors only because they're the Warriors, but I think the Lakers match up well with them. And then the Clippers just have always had our number, and the Clippers might be the best overall team in the league, but the Clippers are small. Like, as much as like people talk about like the Lakers small, like the Clippers are small. The Clippers have one center, and then they have 2 rookies. Like, they don't have size. Like, they're small. Like, they have a ton of wing depth. They have like all of the threes in the league, but they don't have any real 4s, and they don't have really any real 5s. Like, so they're not like, that's where I think our matchup, or positive matchup, would lie. Is it possible to be a Laker and Celtics fan at the same time? I don't think so personally, but I will say I do respect the Celtics, and I have said in the past that like the history of the Celtics, I don't root for them. I want to make that clear. Like, I care less about the Celtics, but like what they did for the league as like an NBA fan, like if I remove my Laker bias, as like what the Celtics have done for the league, I think you gotta be a fan to some extent. But yeah, but I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. Like, I don't think like you could be like a fan. I think it's got to be one or the other. But again, from a league perspective, I can understand. that thought process, as painful as it hurts. But Russ don't have to worry about ruining his legacy. Those Jesse show it already did. Uh, I think Russ was upset because Schroeder was starting when Russ had been all preseason. Russ hears the trade talks coming again, doesn't want to get traded. Problem is, I mean, he's already accustomed to it. I mean, he's already addressed it. Like you said, he's like, I don't like. I got to. I'm here to be a professional. You gotta like. The thing is that he's more. He needs to look out for himself in that regard. Like he can't. He's gonna be out of the league. Like if he can't show like I'm a dude, like he's either gonna be taking a vet minimum contract or he's gonna be out of the league. Um, like to see MJ and the Hornets take Russ in a trade. He may fit there. I actually think like if they played him, I think he would fit there too. I think Charlotte and Washington would be really good for Russ. But I don't I don't think that they would I don't think that they would play him right now because I think the whole point would be to tank. Um, he can't fit with LaMelo. LaMelo is probably going to miss like 2 months at least, if not longer. If they go the tank route, all of a sudden his recovery is taking longer than usual. Ham knows Dennis better for team than Russ. Yeah. Russ is a sensitive guy, and trade talks make him angry. He feels disrespected by the trade talks. I absolutely think he does. But like I said, he's addressed it. He knows. He knows what he has to do. Russ wants to leave LA ASAP. I think so. I do think so. I think I think if a trade came along, he'd be jumping up and down at this point. Is that Charlotte deal still on the table or has it disappeared? Haven't heard any talks of it lately. So as I don't know if it's on the table. Like there's been a lot of like talks and rumors about it, but nothing like just kind of like the idea of like should the Hornets, it's just a lot of people bringing that up. So I don't know personally. I don't want to say yes or no either way. I don't want to give you wrong information. But it makes a lot of sense. It really does. Russ keeps proving the media right. That's the problem. I mean, depends. Russ likes being home with his family. That's more important to him than basketball. And Russ will be a bench player. I don't know. He seems to be embracing it, and they said that they're going to do it more. You think the Lakers can get back Stanley Johnson? He just got waived by the Jazz and should waive Daco Anderson. He not reliable on defense. And I think you mean Scotto Anderson, and we already have enough guards. They cannot. You cannot because of the whole Igauskis. You can't do that. They changed the rule back in like was it 2008 or something like that. Because so they can't sign Stanley Johnson for a year, so they wouldn't be able to bring him back till next year. What's going on? Lakers, yes, Lakers. Don't know, but hope Rob and MJ have been on the phone. Would be nice. Hey, isn't he Team Jordan too? Now we can't get Stanley Johnson. Plus, keep one. He's a wing. Yeah, I think you got to keep Toscano Anderson. Yes, but no fair trade on the table now yet. Robert, I guess last night pulling pictures yet. It's a mess. I've been losing friends and finding peace, but honestly, that sounds like a fair trade to me. If Russ gets traded, he'll most likely get bought out. So where would he go? I think he goes back to Washington, and I think that that's the best place for him because Washington really needs a starting point guard. Him and Bradley Beal work. I mean, Bradley Beal still talks about Russ every chance he gets. Like a week ago, he was like, sending tweets about Russ and stuff like that. Washington, like they loved him there. The fans loved him. Everything. I think he goes to Washington. I think Washington would sign him immediately. And Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal pretty much single-handedly took a Washington Wizards team to the playoffs. And, like, you couldn't name one player besides those two. They actually have guys like Kuzma and Porzingis and guys like that. I think that they would work. Say LeBron retired. Do you think Lakers would be bad enough to where they take Wembanyama? I don't. I really don't. like with AD and everything, unless AD got injured and missed like 60 games. I don't. There's a lot of bad teams. Um, what doesn't get talked about enough is the that other stars besides AD have missed a ton of games. Clippers, Nets, Sixers, Heat, Bucks. Stars have all missed games too, and Bucks are already down 3 main guys. I have said that. I have said that till I turn blue in the face. I have said that so many times. There is, you literally can look it up. There is a list of guys that AD has played more than the last 3 seasons, and the list is astonishing. Like just off the top of my head, Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Jamal Murray, um, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, there's like literally a list, like an entire. Anthony Davis has played more games than all those guys the last 3 seasons. Like, but nobody ever talks about that. Like nobody talks about Paul George and Kawhi never being able to stay healthy, and the both of them, at least LeBron plays games and shows like the Clippers probably would have been won a championship if those two could stay healthy. Troll maybe was Wizards is where I think right preseason is overrated. Yes, exactly. Lakers went 0-6 in preseason last year. Yeah, they went. They also what was it 2009? They went like 0-6 in 2009 and ended up winning the championship. Like preseason isn't a predicator of like how a team is going to do. Like I said, usually the teams that are good in preseason are usually the better teams. We need Stanley Johnson, if only. Who is your top 5 all-time basketball IQ wise? It's interesting. No particular order, but LeBron. I say LeBron, Chris Paul, Jerry West, Jason Kidd, and that's tough. That's tough. I want to say maybe Steve Nash. Steve Nash had a really high basketball IQ. Like, if you ever listen to him, Pistol Pete is another one. I might actually put Pistol Pete over Steve Nash. Like, if you've ever watched Pistol Pete or, like, hear him have discussions and stuff like that, like, he's incredible. There's probably another 10 guys you could put on that list and make an argument for in the top 5, but top of my head, those are the 3. Top 3 all-time spacing-wise, Steph, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. I think Clay, but he's not as good at creating his own shot as Reggie Miller and Ray Allen were. Especially Ray Allen. Like Ray Allen, like Jesus Shuttlesworth was, man, when he was younger, that dude was just boom, taking people off the dribble, dunking on people. Like people forget Ray Allen. Ray Allen used to be nice. Teams that want to tank to get Victor Wembanyama might take Russ and 41. Yeah, I think so. I think as the season progresses, I think the Lakers are going to get so many more. I feel like LeBron and Giannis are locked in the top 3 for slashing. Yeah. I can see that. That's right. Come on, guys, subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal. I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe to the channel, I would be very kind. I still haven't reached 4940. Can I just get 2 more subscribers? 2 of you. There's 91 of you in the stream. I'm sure there's 2 of you that aren't subscribed. Subscribe and stay subscribed because somebody subscribed and then unsubscribed. That hurts. Am I not subscribable enough for you? But no, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Help me at least reach the live stream goal, which was 4940. That would be awesome. And man, I miss Stanley. He got waived by the Jazz. Yeah, I know. I wish we could have gotten him. Pelinka overpaid in the Beverly trade. No, I mean he did it. He did it for several reasons. 1, to clear up their roster spot. 2, to clear up cap space for the future. It was a future move. That's why he did what he did. It was a future play, and that way he didn't have to give up assets and stuff like that. Timberwolves got Rudy to be a second round exit. Yeah, I wouldn't even be shocked if their first round exit. I think Lakers are going to be better than people think. I do too. The East is stacked. Yeah, definitely. I think the Lakers are going to be better than people think too. At Dallas, Suns, Denver, and New Orleans. Yeah. East is highly beatable outside of the Bucks. Yeah. Blazers are a team to look at. See, I really don't think they're going to be very good. I really don't. I don't even think they make the playoffs. I really don't. I don't think they're very good at all. But hey, you never know. Nope, you're either a Laker fan or Celtics fan. I'm with you. I'm with you. If Hornets decide for the Wembanyama sweepstakes, I'll trade Russ 27 first and a second for Rozier, Oubre, PJ Washington. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah, if you can get PJ Washington, I'm all for giving up a first because at least you're getting a young player that's proven that you can keep for the long haul, or he's a tradable asset. You can trade him. Sad move for his career. Yeah, it was rough. That was rough. Russ is not worth PJ Kelly and Terry. No way. It is for the Hornets when they're tanking for Wembanyama. That's why the word is going around for that because they just want to unload and go tank, and they're moving off of Rozier's salary. They get back a first. They don't have LaMelo Ball for the next 4+ weeks. Russ is a good guy, just a bad fit in LA. Look, I still think Russ is a very talented player. I agree with you. I just don't think he's a good fit. If the Lakers got DeMar instead of Russ, what do you think our record playoff ceiling floor would have been, assuming good health? If we were healthy last year's team with Russ or with DeMar, I still don't think we would have been a championship contender. I think we would have been better. I think we maybe would have been like a second round exit. But people act like if we didn't have Russell Westbrook, we would have won the championship. That's not the reality. We were so bad last year. It was terrible. And I don't think even DeMar would have fixed that. Now, granted, like I always say, you give me DeMar, if DeMar was playing like he did in Chicago, which playing next to AD and LeBron, he might not have. Something else you got to keep in mind too. He might have been a completely different player than what we saw last year. But let's assume he was that guy from last year. LeBron and AD were healthy. Those three I think are good enough to at least make some noise. But I just think we were such a disaster last year. I don't think even DeMar would have saved us. I don't even think Kyrie would have saved us. Russ halfway to the WNBA. Rob, call the Wizards now. Yeah. If I'm Washington, I'm mad as heck that Bill is still on the team and Russ can possibly come back. They need to rebuild. They sick ours. Yeah, I've mentioned the Wizards as a team to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be shocked if they finally move off of Bradley Beal. I really wouldn't. For us, they don't want Russ yet. Kobe, Magic have to be on that list. As far as basketball IQ, I don't think that they're top 5. Look, I love Kobe. I think Kobe is incredible. He is a monster. He is hungry. Mamba mentality, all that stuff. But he wasn't the highest IQ. He more times than not made the low IQ decision, but it was just a style of play. Even Jordan did the same thing. Taking bad shots, not helping guys, finding spots. Kobe is great. Don't get me wrong. He definitely has an IQ when it comes to basketball. But I think I just think if you're talking the highest top 5 ever, even Magic never really had a high IQ. He just was such a good passer, just had great vision. But he made a lot of really bad. Do people forget Tragic Johnson? He made a lot of low IQ plays. A lot. And so, if you're talking about just high IQ as a player, I think I think that there's guys higher than them. Larry Bird is another good one. I thought about putting him in there. He's another high IQ guy. Also CP3. Yes, I mentioned CP3 was the second one I mentioned. I said LeBron, CP3. But maybe Wizards take Russ back for a vet minimum, not 47. Yeah, I could. If Russ got bought out, they would take him for a vet minimum. Man said that hurts. Beal is ruining the Wizards. He is not a box office. Who is going to watch the Wizards because of Beal? Nobody. Trying to rebuild and put in a mediocre. Yeah, I've said I think that they should just trade and just move on. Just restart. If healthy with DeMar, the Lakers would have won the chip, and I'm not even a Laker fan. Not last year. I don't think they would. If we were healthy and everything went the same way as it did last year, I really don't think so. I don't think so. All right, we're almost to the end of the chat, and then I'm going to skate on out of here. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. I still like Russ at first and second, and other players they don't need for Turner, Hield, Davis together with Beverly. That would be a good defense team put on the floor plus LeBron, man. I think it has the potential. It's just there's a lot of concerns, a lot of questions. What's going on, Marcus? I appreciate you. How are you? About to skate out of here. Sorry if you just came in. Kobe's IQ was more defense than offense. Same for Jordan. Yeah. Yeah, like if we're talking overall IQ, there were guys that had much higher IQ. I think it just depends on if Russ plays and if he does play, he comes off the bench or not. I think my opinion. I think Walker. I think Walker, LeBron, AD start, and then I think depending if Russ starts, if not, I think they go like Reeves, and I think they go like Reeves and Reeves or maybe none, guys like that. Um, Kobe's basketball IQ had a very high IQ. I disagree with your take. Kobe studied the game like no other. Hey, I completely understand if you feel that way. Um, he had a lot of he made the low IQ play a lot more than he made the high IQ play. Studying things like that doesn't make your IQ. You could read a million books today and still not increase your IQ. Like if we're talking the game of basketball, like Kobe was not a very yeah, he's not a yeah, he's not a high IQ guy personally. Um, AI got to be the highest IQ. He was the only one who understood the game practice. Yeah, right. I feel like a non-LA LeBron is the best slasher of all time. I said non-LA LeBron because he shoots more and he's getting older. Yeah, I agree. He is. I mean, he's arguably the greatest player of all time. Predict Lakers first, top five, five, five. Hey, very well could be. They for sure going to the Western Finals for sure if they stay healthy. Get two players from Indiana fits a perfect Buddy Hield monster. Problem is they don't solve the Lakers' two biggest needs. Buddy Hield isn't going to save. Buddy Hield by himself isn't going to solve all of the Lakers' shooting problems, and neither of those guys solve the Lakers' wing defense. They don't have a problem on the interior, at least from what we've seen. They have a problem on the perimeter. Rush stay on the bench, in my opinion, see if it works. They said that they're going to. So if the Suns do implode, what about trade for CP3? Add Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig to match salaries, a pick or two. I wouldn't mind CP3 at all. I don't know about a salary because he's still got like 4 years on his deal, which would be tough. But the Suns would never give Cam. They want to move Jay Crowder so they can play Johnson more. Like they're really high on him. Just ain't healthy. Still believe we're top 4 to 5. Yeah, I think if we're healthy, we're top 4 to 5. Can you explain the luxury tax? Why is there even a luxury tax if a team like the Warriors allowed to have 5 players with 100 million? Not to hate on them, but what's the point of having? It's so like teams can't just buy players. So like they're able to go so heavily over the luxury tax because they drafted really well, had really good assets, and they were able to fit in at a perfect time. So like they just kind of got like we might never see a Warrior situation again because the Warriors drafted really good. Not just that, but like they were able to sign Kevin Durant because there was a huge cap spike because of like a TV deals and stuff. So they got like a ton of cap space. So they were able to sign Kevin Durant. Then when Kevin Durant wanted to leave, they trade Kevin Durant for D'Angelo Russell, and then we're able to trade D'Angelo Russell for Andrew Wiggins, and then they were able to draft Jordan Poole and all that stuff. So the Warriors situation is not the same thing anywhere else. You can't compare the Warriors situation to any other situation. That's why it's never happened before until the Warriors. But the luxury tax is basically to prevent teams like say like the Lakers, for example. Like if there wasn't a luxury tax, then the Lakers could just keep buying up guys. Like that's why there's like minimums and things like that because otherwise you could have a team like the Lakers or the Warriors just go and say let's pay Giannis, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Ja Morant, and whoever. Insert your other guy. Like you could just pay them whatever you want. So it's to keep teams from getting too over the top. All right, last few questions, and I'm going to get out of here. I think people overrate a lot of teams in the West, like Suns, Pels, Mavs, Bulls. I agree with you. Do you know who owns the Toronto Raptors, aka Baby Dinosaurs? Not off the top of my head. Or you mean in general? You mean like the LeBronto? Like in that case, yes. Players should work on being included in the finishing 5 rather than being in the first 5. I can understand that. I understand that. Joe Lacob is going to pay $500 million tax next year. what a team. Yeah. Well, yeah. If they max out Draymond, but yeah, I mean they're already this year they're going to pay close to $300 million. Russ will stay on the injury list to get started. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think starting lineup should be on Tuesday versus Warriors? What I think it should be. No problem. No problem at all. I can go more in depth another time, but I got to get out of here. Next live stream, ask me more. If you're here earlier on, I could, break it down. That was like the quick answer. But like what starting five I would go with? I would really like I'd really like Patrick Beverly, Walker. I go Patrick Beverly, Walker, Toscano Anderson, LeBron, and Davis would be the five I'd probably go with. I think defensively, everything. I think you could switch. You have switchability. You have size. You have everything. I think you'd be good there. But anyway, that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all so very much for hanging out for me. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm still 2 subscribers away from 4940. Be awesome if you could help me reach that goal. Somebody keeps subscribing and unsubscribing. I don't understand the time waste, but nonetheless, if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. And don't assume somebody else can subscribe. I want you to subscribe. But nonetheless, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do another live stream tomorrow night at some point. Excuse me, and kind of go over what we think is going to happen Tuesday. I'm really excited for that. And then, of course, I'll do the post-game stream like I always do after all the games. So stay tuned for that. That being said, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you.